My name is Ramune Rackauskas, and I'm very happy to participate in the Hope and Spirit exhibition because it gave me a chance to talk about my grandfather, Aleksandras Stulginskis, who was president of Lithuania from 1921 until 1926. And he and his wife, Ona, were sent to Siberia in 1941, along with many of their other countrymen. In 1941, he had been out of politics for many years, but the Soviets were afraid of him, and they considered him a risk, and they sent him to Siberian exile. He endured very many harsh conditions there. At first, he was sent to a prison camp, not to a labor camp, and while he was there, he had experienced an operation. He did have an ulcer for many years, which was taken care of by a bland diet, but in Siberia, the ulcer acted up, started bleeding, and he needed an operation in order to live. And there were no medical facilities there, but a Lithuanian doctor who was also a prisoner there agreed to do an operation on him. So under very little local anesthesia, whatever they had, they removed the ulcer and the operation was successful. But in order to heal, he needed substance. He needed protein, he needed vitamins, and there was nothing there in Siberia. So his prisoner friends found someplace, they found him a piece of raw meat, which he was able to take the juices from. He was able to suck on it for a while, and that gave him the protein and the healing that he needed to get better. And he did survive the operation, and he was very well after that for quite a while. In 1953, Stalin died, and things became better for the prisoners in the Soviet camps, and Aleksandras was allowed to live with his wife, who had been living in a separate region until then. And they lived there for a few more years, and in 1956, they were allowed to return to Lithuania. But things were not very good there either, because he was given a 7-ruble allowance to live on, pension, which was non-sustainable. He found a job as an agronomist, which was his profession, and my mother used to send him packages for him to trade, and he was able to get some money from there. In reading this, in doing research about him in the Soviet archives, they discovered that somebody had written, if my mother had not sent him those packages, they would have starved because they just did not have money to live on. My grandmother and my grandfather during the years of their presidency, and there's my mother with them on their farm. She was quite grown then, and their passport pictures, their Siberian passport pictures, and photos of them when they had come back from Siberia, already quite aged and broken in health. Okay? I'd like to show you some photos of his life. When he was a young man, he studied for the priesthood. He was the youngest of 12 children, came from a very rather poor farming family, and his older brothers and sisters, some of them had already emigrated to America, and since he promised to be a priest, they were very, very happy, and they were very willing to send him money for his education. After a while, he decided, no, doesn't have a calling for the priesthood, so he went to Germany to study agronomy. He thought he would be better for his country, as far as leading his country as an agronomist. And there's a photo of him as a president, and then this is a photo of him in Siberia. He had grown a long beard, maybe to keep himself warmer, I don't know. And this is a photo of when he had come back already to Lithuania. We have some original letters which he had sent to my grandmother when they were living apart in Siberia. And in there he showed a lot of hope. He showed a lot of his trust in God and hope that they would get together and they would come back to Lithuania and that they will both survive this ordeal they're both undergoing. He even wrote a letter to us in 1956 in English. He had learned English. Our dear Aldute, Jonas, and children, Onute and Aleksandra send you very good, very hearty wishes. Onute is sick with hypertony and without health. She is in want of medicaments, but Aleksandras is in good health and works as an agronomist. The work is not light for an old man. We dwell in a dull place, therefore please write to this address in Kaunas. We desire to have your family photo. We embrace you with love and kiss very cordially. Well, Aleksandras and Onute. When he was a president, and it's a very well written, and he congratulates us for living in the United States and hopes to see us maybe someday.